It started with a knock on the door, sharp, insistent, and loud enough to make me jump. It was nearly midnight. I glanced at Lily's room, where soft humming still drifted out. My 10-year-old daughter often hummed when she couldn't sleep, rolling her wheelchair gently back and forth across the floor. The quiet squeak of her wheels had become part of our nightly rhythm. To me, it was comforting, but apparently not everyone felt the same. When I opened the door, I wasn't surprised to see her. Karen Wilkins, the self-appointed queen of our cul-de-sac, with her perfectly coiffed hair and blazer pressed so sharply it could cut glass. Karen had the air of someone who'd never been told no in her life. "Do you know what time it is?" she hissed, stepping closer than necessary. "Yes," I said, evenly gripping the doorframe. "Do you?" Her lips tightened into a thin line. "Your daughter's wheelchair," she said, her voice dripping with disdain, "squeaks at night. It's disturbing the peace in our community. She's just going from her room to the bathroom." I replied, trying to keep my tone calm. Karen crossed her arms, her diamond bracelet catching the porch light. "The rules are very clear. No excessive noise after 10 p.m. If she can't move quietly, perhaps she doesn't belong here." Her words sank into me like ice water. "She's 10 years old," I said slowly, my chest tightening, "and she's disabled. You want her to stop moving in her own home because the sound bothers you." Karen's face didn't soften. "This is a quiet neighborhood. If she can't live here without being a nuisance, maybe you should consider a place better suited for people like her." I couldn't breathe for a moment. "People like her?" I repeated, my voice shaking. Karen didn't answer. She gave a sharp nod, as if the matter was settled, and turned on her heel. That night, as I sat by Lily's bed, watching her sleep peacefully, her small hand curled around her stuffed bunny, I clenched my fists so hard my nails dug into my palms. Karen thought she could intimidate us. She thought she could bully my daughter into silence, but she didn't know me. And she had no idea the storm I was about to bring into her perfect little world. The next morning, the sound of tape ripping jolted me out of my thoughts. I opened the door to find a bright orange HOA violation notice plastered to it. The bold letters screamed, "Unit 14, noise violation, residents advised to correct behavior or face fines." My hands trembled as I ripped it down. Across the street, there she was, Karen, standing in her yard with her ever-present watering can, dressed as if she were heading to a board meeting instead of watering her roses. Her sharp eyes met mine, and a smirk tugged at the corner of her lips. "See the notice?" she called out sweetly. I felt heat rise to my cheeks. "You're targeting a child," I said, my voice louder than I intended. Karen set her watering can down and crossed her arms, her diamond bracelet glinting in the sun. "Your child is disturbing the peace," she said, her tone calm and condescending. "Rules are rules. If you can't comply, there are other neighborhoods more forgiving of such situations." I clenched the notice in my fist. "You're crossing a line, Karen." "Oh, I think you're the one who crossed it by bringing her here." Her eyes flicked toward my daughter's window. That night, Lily sat at the kitchen table coloring, oblivious to the battle brewing around her. "Mama, did I do something bad?" she asked softly. My heart broke. "No, sweetheart," I said, forcing a smile. "You've done nothing wrong." But inside, my blood boiled. Karen wasn't just trying to bully me. She was trying to erase Lily from a place she had every right to call home. I grabbed my phone and began documenting everything. Photos of the notices, videos of Karen glaring from across the street, and voice memos of her snide comments. If Karen thought her power games would break us, she was about to find out just how far a mother will go to protect her child. The tension in the neighborhood had become unbearable. Every time Lily wheeled down our driveway to catch her school bus, I felt Karen's icy gaze burning from across the street. Her arms folded tight, lips pursed, eyes glinting with malice. It wasn't just her anymore. Two of her HOA board friends had joined in, whispering and pointing when they thought I wasn't looking. Then one afternoon it happened. Lily's wheelchair caught on a crack in the sidewalk. She struggled to push forward, her small arms trembling as she tried again and again. My heart clenched. I knew she hated asking for help, even when she needed it. Karen's voice cut across the street, like a whip. Maybe if you weren't such a nuisance, you wouldn't have these problems, she said, loud enough for neighbors to hear. I froze. The cruelty in her tone was sharper than ever. My fingers tightened around my phone in my pocket, and I hit record. Say that again, I said, stepping closer. Karen turned, startled. Her mask slipped for a moment, revealing the venom underneath. Your crippled brat doesn't belong here. This isn't a place for rolling chairs and squeaky wheels disturbing everyone at night. Move her or move out. My stomach churned, but I kept the camera steady, every second burning into digital memory. That night, I uploaded the video to social media with the caption, "This is how our HOA president treats my disabled daughter." By morning, it had exploded. Millions of views, thousands of comments. Fire her now. She's a monster. Justice for Lily. Reporters showed up on our street. News trucks parked by Karen's pristine lawn. Parents gathered in front of her house holding signs. Karen must go and protect our kids. And for the first time, I saw it, fear flashing in Karen's eyes as she peered out her window. The queen of the cul-de-sac was crumbling. Karen's carefully constructed empire was collapsing faster than she could hold it together. The video of her cruelty toward Lily had gone viral, spreading like wildfire across social media. People weren't just angry, they were outraged. Neighbors who had once stayed silent were now standing shoulder to shoulder on her lawn, holding signs, "Stop bullying the disabled," and "Justice for Lily." Inside our house, I watched the chaos unfold through the blinds, my phone buzzing nonstop with interview requests and messages of support. "Why are people outside, Mama?" Lily asked, her big brown eyes filled with confusion. "They're here for you, sweetheart," I said softly. "They know what Karen did, and they're not going to let her get away with it." The HOA board called an emergency meeting in the clubhouse. I showed up with Lily at my side, her wheelchair rolling smoothly across the tile floor. The room fell silent as we entered. Karen sat at the head of the table, her lips pressed into a thin line, her once perfect hair slightly disheveled. She broke the HOA rules, Karen said quickly, trying to regain control. Her daughter's wheelchair causes noise pollution, and they've made unauthorized modifications to their home. "You're not here to talk about ramps or wheels, Karen," one board member interrupted coldly. "You're here to answer for your behavior." Then they played the video. Karen's voice filled the room. "Your crippled brat doesn't belong here. Move her or move out." Gasps echoed through the room. Karen shrank in her chair as neighbors began to murmur angrily. "This isn't leadership," said Mrs. Flores, a longtime resident. "This is harassment." The board voted unanimously to remove Karen as HOA president. "You can't do this to me." Karen screamed as she stood. "This neighborhood needs me." "No, Karen," I said, my voice steady. "What this neighborhood needs is decency." For the first time since we moved in, Karen had nothing to say. Karen's house went up for sale a month later. She disappeared without a word, her perfect garden left untended and wilting. The quiet she had demanded for years finally settled over the cul-de-sac, but not in the way she had wanted. Lily's ramp stayed. So did her wheelchair. And now, every squeak of her wheels was greeted with smiles and waves from neighbors instead of glares. People began stopping by to check in, some bringing small gifts for Lily, books, stuffed animals, even flowers for her room. One evening, as Lily wheeled down the hall humming her favorite tune, I felt tears prick my eyes, not from sadness but from relief. "Mama," she said shyly, "is it okay if I go outside to ride on the sidewalk?" "Of course, baby," I said, my voice thick with emotion. "You can go anywhere you want." As the sun set, I watched her laugh and race the neighbor kids down the street. Her wheels squeaked with every turn. But now that sound wasn't something to hide. It was a song of freedom. Karen had tried to silence my daughter. Instead, Lily's voice and her wheels were louder than ever. And for the first time in months, I felt like we belonged.